I advise charities on strategy and organizational design. So I'm just going to leap straight in. So strategy isn't an utter waste of time, in my experience, if there is a robust, insightful diagnosis of the situation that the organization finds itself in, that really crystallizes the most relevant, the handful, 5 or 6 most relevant challenges, issues, opportunities that the organization faces. Well, I think we've probably all seen strategy processes where someone's done a SWOT analysis, and you've got a long list of strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats, and that's the situational analysis done. And that's absolutely hopeless. It takes you absolutely nowhere. So I love Jim Collins, who talks about defining and crystallizing the brutal facts that must be addressed in strategy. And in my experience, when you do that well, it almost guides the whole strategic process. It gives a focus and a narrative and a relevance that is incredibly helpful. But very rarely do I see that situational analysis done well. Just to give an example, one of the charities I led a few years ago, we went through this process and we found it so helpful. And 2 of the things we came up with out of, I think we had 6 of these statements. One said, our supporter base is aging, and all our efforts in recent years to reverse this trend have not borne fruit. And that led to it unleashed creativity in a very focused area. The second brutal fact we framed was people. So our charity I was leading was serving extreme poor around the world. People are trapped in extreme poverty by a complex and interconnected network of forces. Until we understand and influence this network, we will never realize our primary purpose to tackle extreme poverty. And again, that took us around an incredibly creative route into advocacy in all sorts of areas that then became a priority. So that's the first thing. That's really clear, insightful set of brutal facts to guide and shape everything. A question I've been puzzling with. Is strategy or strategy development still a helpful term for what we're doing here? I kind of think it's actually quite misleading. The term comes from strategos, if you didn't know that, which means it's a kind of a Greek term for a general in command of an army. And I kind of feel that's not really the world we're in now. I love Frederick Laloux, who talks about strategy being about moving from predicting and controlling towards sensing and responding. And I think that is the reality we're in with the pace of change we face, with the complexity of the world we're in. And that says that actually the thing we're really doing here is we're shifting from developing a strategy to actually designing organizations for ongoing, even real-time resilience and agility and adaptation. And so that kind of leads me to say, well, is there a better word to describe that? If it's really more about ongoing organizational design, or even seeing strategy as a competence, as an ongoing competence we want to embed at every level, is it still the right term?